I bought a few stocks, and the next day the stocks went up for a good 2 years, and I didn't find success. I was still negative overall, you know. So that day I lost a bit of hope.
Okay.
And it was at a point of my trading career where I almost gave up. Like,
Sure.
I almost said I don't ever want to trade again.
What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of Market Masters Out and About edition with myself, Nqobile Tembane from Top Trader South Africa. This season is sponsored by Exness, an international multi-asset broker which is also licensed right here in South Africa. On this show, I sit down with the most prominent and talented traders in the industry, and we have chats on all things trading. Yo guys, what's up? It's Nqobile Tembane here from Top Trader South Africa, and we're here in Cape Town right now. As you guys can see the view behind us, we got Table Mountain behind us, and a big thank you to Exness for flying us out here for the Exness partner event. And right now I am sitting with Chris. Hi Chris.
How are you doing?
I'm good, you?
No, I'm good.
Nah, that's great. Obviously Chris is on here, he's a partner for Exness, but also you're a trader.
Yes.
As well. So obviously we're here to talk about you, your journey, your come up, how everything has been going. It's all about you today.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, thanks for having me. I love your show.
Yeah.
I've watched many of the episodes,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
really great work. I love the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it up. I'm really honored to be here.
Yeah.
So,
No,
thanks.
No, I'm honored that you've taken the time to just
thank
make
you.
for us. Oh, so let's actually go like at the beginning. Like, how did you start? Like, what was that? What were you doing before trading?
So, trading just kind of naturally entered my life. I grew up in Durban. I went to high school in Durban, to a school called Glenwood, and I was in boarding house there. After school, like everyone, they want to go to university, they want to go study, and to be honest with you, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure what I was going to become, etc., etc. It was very experimental. Like, I wanted to go to university to see what I like, to find myself. And that's basically where trading came into my life. It really happened naturally, as I said.
But how did you hear about it though, like trading? Like, what was your first encounter with like trading, forex and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I actually played a bit of rugby in school, and I went on exchange to England for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
To a school called Magdalen College, and this was, I think, the very first time I heard about it and got really interested. They had this activity in class where they would link you up to demo accounts, and we would have like 100,000 pounds play money, and we were allowed to invest that and watch your stocks grow or watch your stocks go down. You lose money, all that kind of stuff. So I think from that day, I remember how I sat in class and I bought a few stocks, and the next day the stocks went up, and I got really excited. I was like, that was the easiest money I've ever made in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you go to bed, you wake up, and there's like profits,
Yeah.
But just as easy as you can make money, you can also lose money, you know. So I think that's where the first time that I really encountered that kind of feeling of trading. And then my uncle used to buy a lot of shares. He showed me a platform. He used to buy a lot of shares in gold, in mining companies, etc., etc. And I actually learned a lot from him in terms of investing. He was an investor, and I also, just played around, bought a few mining shares and stuff like that. So it's just kind of from influence, I think, from when I went to England in that class activity, and then also from my uncle that showed me a bit about investing. You always hear about it, but you never know how you do it or how it feels or that kind of stuff. So I always knew, like, when you make money, you need to invest it, but in what? You never know. So I've always kind of seeked it in some way. I was looking for it, but also it naturally just came across my path via my uncle and in school.
Yeah, no, that's great. So obviously these are the early days. You've just learned, you've just discovered this whole forex thing. You're getting into it. Like, what was the whole process going? Like, transitioning into becoming a trader. Actually, like, because obviously you've heard of it. You're intrigued by it, but now you need to put in the work.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was like that whole process like? Putting in the work. What did that look like?
Let's just say it doesn't happen in one night. You know, like you don't become a trader within 2 days or 3 days. You don't decide I'm going to be a trader tomorrow. Even my journey, I think it over time just because I said I had such a big interest in it. It kind of I think happened much more easily than I think it would for some. But I was really passionate about it, really interested in it, and I went looking for information. You know, I went online. I did research about trading. I did research about investing. And I think over time you gain knowledge. And I think I always wanted to. Well, I saw people that were full-time traders, and you obviously see that kind of. How could I say? Like you get that perception off of a lot of online traders that. You know, trading life is nice. You see the laptops on the beach and stuff like that. You know, but you soon come to the realization that like that's not trading. You need to treat trading as a career and as a job. You need to take it seriously. You know, it's not just that easy. And I think over time, when I saw that, because I actually ended up working after university, and I think when I was doing my job, there was a point where I was earning more money trading, and I was spending about 10 to 15% of my day on the charts, and I'd spend the other, you know, 85% doing my job, and I was making more money trading than I was working.
So the balance wasn't making sense.
It wasn't making sense, and I thought, you know, rationally thinking, if I take that other 85% of my day and I spend that on trading, you know, what could that become? You know, and I think that always. It always like that thought was always processing in my mind, and eventually it just came to a point where I made a decision. I said, let me take a risk. You know, even in trading, you don't make any profits, you don't make any gains without taking a risk. And I think you don't need to be reckless about it, but it needs to be a calculated risk. You need to know, you know, I can pay my rent for an X amount of time. You know, you don't just want to say, oh, I'm going to go be a full-time trader, and then you can't pay your rent next month. You know
take all that money and place it in one trade.
No, it doesn't work like that. You need to know exactly how long you can sustain yourself. And I think before you make a move like that, you need to be really knowledgeable about like what you're doing as well. For example, like I didn't, when I you know, started trading, feel that I was ready to be a full-time trader. I still had a lot to learn. You know, I still learn to this day. I don't think I'm a complete trader. I think every person that ever trades, you're always a student. You know.
Student of the market.
Student of the market, always. And it's an ever-learning process. But I think you know, like for yourself, when it's the right time to take that step to become a trader and say, you know what. I'm actually good at this, or I have the right personality for this, I have the right psychology for this. And I think when you realize that, you know within yourself, like this is the right time to make that step, you know? It's like proposing to a girl, you know? You will know when you're ready. You know?
That's great.
Different types of traders have different needs. Choosing the right trading style is essential for each individual trader. However, choosing the most optimized account type is just as important. The range of account choices at Exness is to meet the various trading styles of different traders. The standard account is the most straightforward commission-free account type that has market execution and suits most general trading styles. The Pro account provides commission-free trading with the most competitive spreads and instant execution that is preferable to minimize potential slippages for the more demanding professional trader. Our Raw Spread account offers the lowest spread with a fixed commission as compared to ECN competitors. The zero account has a stable spread predominantly of 0.0 with a range of instrument-based commissions, giving more predictability with no spread trading for most of the day. All our account types have the same approach of competitive pricing and best execution. Exodus does not limit these account types, and its customers may use any of them to see what works best for their styles.
Now you're trading right now, so do you have like a daily routine that you're actually following? Because wait, but before I ask that, are you a full-time trader now? Is that what you can say?
I'm a full-time trader.
Okay, cool. So do you have a daily routine now as being a full-time trader?
I do.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, one of the important things when, like I said, you see the people lying on the beach with their laptops open and stuff. It's not really like that.
Yeah.
You need to be disciplined in your approach. You need to have a routine. I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Especially, even the times you choose to trade, whether you're trading New York session, London session, whichever sessions you choose to trade, you need to be disciplined in your approach.
Yeah.
Because opportunities literally come in an instant like this.
Yeah.
And if you aren't ready, or if you're not in the position to know what you're looking for or wait for your setup, then it's going to pass you just as quickly. You're going to have a missed opportunity. So I feel it's important to have a routine, daily routine. So my typical day would be, waking up. I don't wake up super early in the morning.
Okay.
I would say about 6:30. Normally I wake up, I get ready, eat some breakfast, and obviously depending on the daylight savings, London session either opens at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock throughout the year. So normally I just make sure I prep for London session. That's the main session I trade.
Okay.
With the New York overlap. So I always make sure that I'm prepared for the day. I know what I'm looking for, which areas I'm waiting for price to come into, etc. So, I have gone days where, in the beginning, where like you do no prep work.
Okay.
And it's difficult. You feel like you're playing catch up the whole day. You need to have a routine. You need to, depending on your strategy, know exactly what you're looking for. But some people, they trade breakouts, so you can literally rock up to the session and quickly do your analysis. But the way I trade, I need to know what I'm waiting for, know what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So I hear you say you trade mostly the London session. Are you trading currencies, or are you trading indices, or like what do you mostly focus on?
Yeah. So I trade 6 pairs.
Okay.
And I trade the Aussie dollar, the euro. And I trade the pound, and I trade them with a US dollar cross and the yen cross.
Yeah.
So I focus a lot on the US dollar index. I do thorough analysis on that, and I base my trades or what I'm looking for my setups on those indexes. Then I go on to EU, AU and GU, and I go look for those setups. I go look for what the dollar is doing, because I'm also only focusing on basically 5 currencies.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's basically the euro, the Aussie dollar, the pound, and then the US dollar and the yen.
Yeah.
So you get the 3 main currencies. I think they are the most liquid currencies at the moment, and they crossed with the dollar and then also crossed with the yen. So those are the 6 pairs I trade. So it's EU, GU, AU, EJ, GJ, and AJ.
Okay, no, that's cool.
So it's only currencies. I don't trade indices. I do sometimes trade gold. But I find more success with currencies.
Okay. And what are some of the challenges that you find from you're a day trader, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are some of the challenges that you find yourself facing?
So I would just say staying disciplined.
Yeah.
Because you have a trading plan, right?
Yeah.
You need to stick to your trading plan. And I think sometimes when there is quite a bit of time in between, you taking trades, sometimes you get anxious. You feel like you need to get into the market, And I'll be honest and transparent. One of the things I had to really work hard on was over trading. I used to, overtrade too much, and I needed to bring that down. And I think that's because I didn't have a set plan.
Okay.
You know, so once you know, a while ago, I had to put a plan in place. I needed to say, like, you know, this, if A, B, C happens, then you do this. You know. And I think as a trader, when you develop and you have a set plan, you know exactly what you're looking for. Then it becomes easier to be disciplined. But there are still days where nothing meets my plan, but I still want to get in, you know what I'm saying? Still want to take a trade. But you just kind of have to stick to your plan. You know? And sometimes you can, if you want to see something, sometimes you can convince yourself that you, like, you know, like it doesn't meet this rule, but maybe, you know, but you need to just stick to your plan. Don't, like, basically turn away from that, you know.
No, that's not a problem. Okay, earlier on you spoke about planning. Obviously, you've been speaking about planning actually, but like obviously there's a phase where you're planning, but like let's say pre-market planning, but versus what actually happens, you know. So what actually goes into your planning, and then how do you actually implement that? Like, because obviously sometimes you read a textbook and you find this textbook lines, it's just up, down, and when you actually open the markets, it's like up, down, down, up, down, down, up, and all that. So like, how do you handle that? Like, obviously just the pre-market planning versus the actuality.
Yeah, so basically my strategy is based on reaction.
Okay.
So I don't try to predict. I will forecast different scenarios and say, if price goes here, I can look for this. If price goes here, I can look for this. You need to be ready for certain movements. But I always believe that, you know, no one truly knows where price is going. You know, so it's not our job to predict where price is going, but it's our job to react to wherever price is going. And if you just react to what's happening and you are basically in the right direction of the market, you're going to make money. You know, so I don't care whether I'm right or wrong. I react based on what happens in the market. If I have a certain analysis and within the first 10 minutes of the session it gets ruined, that's fine. You know, then I react based on what happened. I change up my analysis. I always say to everyone, you know, that I've spoken to about trading or that I've, you know, helped, I say to them, you need to be like water. You know, you need to take the form of whatever you're going into. So, you know, like if you put water in a round glass, the water takes the shape of the glass. If you put it in a thin glass, the water's going to take the shape of the glass. And it's our job to not dictate, you know, what happens in the market, but to take shape, you know, to go with the flow and just react based on whatever's happening. You know.
So I can imagine being a day trader is also, it's just the stress, it's very stressful. I can imagine. So how are you dealing with your emotions, especially when the markets are not like difficult times?
I mean, that happens. You get months where the volatility decreases, like in let's say the European summer. And also now towards the end of the year in December, volatility decreases in the market. Those are more tough times to trade because there's no volume. You know. So I would say the challenges are basically just psychologically sticking to your plan. Once again, you have a plan. You know, if the market ranges and you, for example, waiting for price to head to a certain direction, you know, don't like go down onto low time frames and things that are outside of your trading plan just because you're looking for trades. You know, you need to always just stick to what you're doing. And I think that comes with experience as well. That comes with trading for a while. You know, there are going to be times where there's going to be nothing in it. And you just need to be able to say, okay, cool, you know, is what it is. Whenever something happens, I'll react. And I think being patient and having a good psychology, it is like it's directly correlated to having a good trading plan. So if you have no plan, you don't know what you're doing, you're going to jump into trades in those times, you're going to lose money. You know?
So true.
So you need to, your psychology is very dependent on your trading plan, how disciplined you stay to it. And I mean, that's trading, you know. If you have a very good analytical trading plan, you know, there's no need for a big psychology like input, you know, because it's very analytical. This happens, you do this. You know?
Not that simple, straight to the point.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of traders tend to just find success at some point in their lives, you know, and then tend to not be able to sustain that success, you know, and stuff like that. So how have you been able to like overcome, get to a point where you find a bit of success and then sustain that success? Yes.
So I think for me, trading is a numbers game.
Okay.
So you're gonna have months where you might not make a lot of money. You're gonna have months where you lose money, and you're gonna have months where you make a lot of money. And for me, I don't get excited when I make a lot of money. I don't get depressed when I don't make money. You need to take it as a numbers game, and once again, that comes from a lot of testing, a lot of experience. You need to know that, okay, cool, you know, these are the months that average out to these amounts, but over time, as long as you're profitable, that's the important thing, you know. So I've got, you know, ideal monthly targets that I'd like to reach, but I don't beat myself if I don't get that, because I know there's going to be a month where I make double that, triple that, you know. So it's going to even itself out, and you know, to stay consistent. Don't have unrealistic targets, because you're going to start over leveraging. You're going to start taking big risks that your account probably can't handle. You know, you just need to stay consistent. You need to be, how could I say, like humble. You need to remain really objective, and just go with the flow. You need to take, you know, what you are given, because like I said, we are not market makers. We don't predict where the market's going. You know, if you don't get bread this month, then that's how it is. You know?
So obviously we're still on the topic of sustaining your trading success. What improvements did you have to implement into your life to ensure that you sustain the success that you had attained?
Yes. So I think obviously you're always looking to improve stuff, you know, but I think as a trader, I said this earlier as well, you always remain a student. So you want to always get better, because you want to up those monthly percentages, your annual returns. So you do experiment with different things, you know. You say, like, if I do this, can I get better results? You know, small tweaks sometimes can lead to big results, you know. I once heard this story, and I get fascinated by this kind of stuff. But I heard this story once that one of the airlines, international airlines, saved millions and millions of dollars, literally by serving, or actually, you know those little cloths they put on the back of your seat?
Oh,
by your head?
So
they would always just put new ones on every flight. But now, on the seats that were empty, that weren't occupied, they left those, and they saved like millions and millions of dollars. And it's something so small, like a small change, can lead to big improvements, lead to big increases in revenue, you know, in any job, any career. And I think for us as traders, we always seek to improve as well, but I think it's important to thoroughly test what you want to bring into your trading, see if it does bring in an improvement, and then if it doesn't, then you eliminate it. You go on to the next, you know. So a lot of people just bring it into their trading plan. They start losing money. They say this doesn't work,
and they find something. They want to find something else, something completely different. And I think that's what so many people are chasing, like this holy grail type of thing. They're there one day, tomorrow they're there. They're just continually chasing something that they'll probably never be able to attain. Whereas they can just focus on one thing, and based on what you're saying, so improve it.
There's always market hypes, right? So like this month, this strategy is getting hyped. You know, the next month there's something new. But if you look at a lot of the concepts, I've seen numerous new names for things. But it's basically the same thing. You know, sometimes I look at this a new hype that's out there, and I look at it and I'm like, bro, it's just basically this, you know. It's just a fancy word for it. So I think there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of, you know, people raving about these things, but you need to stay true to yourself. You need to find your niche. You need to find what works for yourself. And it's all about you. You know, like you might like swing trading where I might prefer day trading. You know, but it doesn't mean your strategy is wrong. You know, it's just you need to find your personal niche, and you need to stick to that. If it works and if it makes money, why change it?
Yeah,
you know?
so true, so true.
So if you want to bring an improvement in, like, I'm very cautious with that. It needs to be thoroughly tested. And if it does bring improvements in results, then bring it on. If it doesn't, don't.
Wise words. So anyway, can we talk about your biggest loss that you've experienced over your training career? But like I always tell people, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a monetary loss, but just a trade where you feel like, you know, that one you lost something, you know?
You know what? Mine would be that, not monetary. So I think it was at quite an early stage in my trading where I went at it for a good 2 years, and I didn't find success. I was still negative overall, you know. So I remember there was a trade that I placed quite some time ago on NAS 100 because that was the big hype at the time, you know, like everyone's making big money. And like I said, you experience with different things, and I was like, let me check this out. I traded for quite some time, and I remember, like, I blew an account that day. I placed a trade didn't go my way, and I was just so frustrated, you know, and I was like, why isn't it working, you know, because I've got the holy grail, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is it not working? And why does it play out sometimes, why does it play out other times it doesn't, you know? Then you start saying this strategy doesn't work. But you need to take a step back and you need to realize this is a numbers game, you know? And I think that day I lost a bit of hope. And it was at a point of my trading career where I almost gave up. Like, I almost said, I don't ever want to trade again. You know, trading's a scam. You know, like you start feeling like that inside. You know? And I think that was a really crucial moment in my life where I decided to push through, you know. I was like, there are people making money trading. You know, there are people doing these things, and that's when I realized that most of the people that are making really good money from trading are the people you don't hear about, are the people you don't see, and those are the people that don't need to be out there because they've got a plan, they stick to their plan, and they follow their plans, you know, it's for themselves. So I think I met one or two people that really told me, like, you know, you need to push, this is a numbers game. And that's why I continue to push, you know. But I think that day for me it was loss in terms of hope, you know, loss in terms of I can't do this anymore, it's too difficult, you know, or like I'm just not finding my groove. But I think when you push on and you start being really objective about things, and you meet the right people, you speak to the right people, the relationships are really important in trading, you know. Like even this weekend, meeting everyone, you know, that's for me is very, very valuable, relationships. And if it wasn't for a few key people in my life, I would probably not be trading today.
I feel relationships are important, are more important than money at the end of the day, right? 100%. So what's your most memorable trade? Like one where you like, nah, this one was probably my best trade ever.
So once again, I'm not like a big, I like consistent numbers. So it's not for me, like I don't go all in and then try and make millions in a day. You know, for me it's, I work a lot with compounding and making small percentages. So I have, like, I wouldn't say they're massive trades. But nothing in particular, no, all my winners are the same. But my most memorable trade would be, I would say, is the first trade I ever placed on MetaTrader 4. I remember watching a few videos on YouTube, and I took someone's course. And I remember there was like a falling wedge specifically. And the price of gold was literally like squeezed to the tip of that wedge. And I remember buying it at the bottom trend line and making like a couple hundreds of dollars off of that trade. And once again, I got really excited. I'm like, bro, this is so easy, you know? Like, it's, I would say that's my most memorable because that was my first interaction really on empty form. When you see your actual money going up and down, you know, that's when the emotion kicks in, you know. When you
so
see
true.
your money going in the red, your money going in the blue, it feels like you in heaven, you know. And like if it doesn't go against you, you feel like almost miserable, you know. So it's really that emotional experience, I think, is what made it memorable for me. Is watching my money go into drawdown, then going into profit. You know?
I feel you. Okay, great. So we're at the end of the interview right now. Would you just give people some trading advice on what, especially the ones who are trying to start out and the ones who are also struggling as well? What trading advice would you have for them over there at that camera over there?
So if you are a trader and you're struggling and you're at that point where you're not finding consistency, you're not finding success, you know, it doesn't mean you should hate the industry. You know, the industry is what attracted you in the first place. And it's like anything. If you have a business, something doesn't work, try something different, you know. And at the end of the day, you have to listen to the right people, the people that are doing it, not the people that just talk, you know. You need to listen to the right people, have good relationships with people. I believe, don't ever think you're better than anyone. You can always learn from people.
So true,
you know, I can learn things from you, you from me. You know, it would make this world a better place. So I'm not really like someone that's really arrogant and stuff. I'm always humble. I can learn from someone, but don't stop. You know, keep pushing, keep searching for what it is you're looking for. You know, and eventually you're gonna get there if you persist. There's that saying that persistence, you know, beats resistance. So one day, if you just keep on keeping on, one day you're gonna get there. You know. So, I'd say that's my advice.
No, thank you so much, Chris, for taking the time to sit down with me. This is really good. I've learned so much from you right now. And also, like, I know we've had other conversations as well over the weekend, and you're such a genuine guy. I'm happy that I got to meet you over this weekend as well.
Oh, awesome, dude. You too. I'm really happy to have met you. As I said, I love the show. Keep doing what you're doing. You're onto something good.